Hey guys, Info here. Today we're looking at fixing our 1080 Ti. First we're going to need thermal pads as well as some thermal paste, and then we're going to take a look at how to fix your very own 1080 Ti and stop it from crashing all the time.
Cool, we have our graphics card right here. To start off, there's a couple of screws right at the top and bottom here of each fan. We're going to need a nice small little screwdriver. I think this one will be perfect. All we're doing is removing each of these screws right here. Don't mind if they don't come out. It's a nice, easy process. The whole point's not to shove it. So if you saw what I did there, I was jumping back and forth there, just to make sure that nothing quite gets lost or damaged. Okay, I'm gonna remove this thing. Right there on the side here, connected to this board, we're gonna look to remove this back piece here. So here, we've got 4 screws, well, 5 screws. You want to go and remove all 5 of these screws. Awesome. Now slowly turn it back around. Make sure not to twist this wire too much. So be sure of which way you're turning it. You don't want to hammer that too much. Okay, and now very carefully, all we're doing is we're lifting it. Slowly, just jiggling it a bit, moving it, creating some air. And bang, it's off. Awesome, here's the heatsink for the 1080 Ti varnish remover. Now you want to make sure, well, this is acetone free, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, acetone free. But the main part is just removing all that grease and grime from there. And we don't need a lot, so what I like to do is pour a little bit into here. Just go, you don't want to soak your tissue, just get a little bit on it. Pour the rest back, close that. I'm going to start right here with the heatsink. Just rub it. As you can see, it's all clean there, and there's no grease or anything. You do not want to touch it with your fingers at all either. So once you place it down, make sure you don't touch it again. Awesome. And now we want to just clean this here. Okay, once you remove the gist of that, you want to come in with some Q-tips and just give it a nice little polish everywhere. Okay guys, as you can see, it is perfect there. The next step will be just to unplug this over here. The reason why we're unplugging this over here is now we can put that aside, and now we can look at this. Okay, so if you look carefully, you won't see any thermal paste in between each of those little pieces there. Now everything is good. You do not want to touch this with your hands or put grease on it like that. So if you notice that it's not perfectly shining, before we put it back together, we're going to hit it with a bit more acetone or rubbing alcohol. Next, we're going to be checking out the thermal pads by replacing them. Don't have any grease on your fingers, as it's going to be a bad idea. Now just place it wherever you need to put thermal pads. I know you put one on there. Each of these, you put one there, some on here, there. And a hint of advice, if you do look carefully, you'll see that it has some condensation on it, or I think that's oil. Just hit it with a little bit of acetone or rubbing alcohol with the Q-tip, and it'll immediately sort itself out. Okay guys, as you can see, it's all together. I'm gonna just look at it nice and close nearby. Looks very nice, very clean. Okay. Awesome guys, here's everything that came in the box. Thermal paste, 3 cleaning wipes, 2 help like applicator helpers, as well as a card and a safety information booklet. So what we're going to start with is a cleaning wipe. You rip that open, pull this out very carefully, and just give it a little wipe-a-rooney. That's not a good idea. This is a GPU, these are meant for CPUs, so we're not going to do that. What you're going to do instead, so we're going to add a peanut shell right there, like a little dollop, and then we're going to move it around with this card, and then we're going to add a little bit to the outside right there. Awesome guys, just apply the thermal paste. Once you're done with that, close it up, that can go into the bin, or you can keep it, just clean it, you can move everything out of the way. And we want to take this, our other light. There's another little connector down here. Do not forget about this, guys. It is not a good time if you forget about this. And you push that in. There we go. And now we can get this back on here. You want to match up these screws, these 5 screws, with these holes over there. Once you do that, you're golden and you're sorted. Once you guys have it down here, just give it a little push just to spread everything. Now we're going to take these screws, just put them in place. The reason why we're putting them in place and not tightening them is because you don't want to put uneven pressure on these screws. If you start putting uneven pressure, it's not going to form a nice flat bond to that CPU in your GPU. Now, I like to start with this one on the side. You just want to screw it in just until it holds about 1 turn of your screwdriver, just to the point where it's in there, like that, like that, and like that. Okay, all of these are in there. Now we're going to work there, 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 and by that last one you should be tight. Awesome, guys. Now that we have the screws in, we're going to turn it around, and this part is not too hard, it's just a bit weird. So what I like to do is work one by one, just move it back and forth, shimmy it, and these fans will just move out of the way. And now we're going to put the last screws in, and we're going to test it.
So guys, I forgot how beautiful this graphics card really is. The score that came out of Furmark, the brand new Furmark, was actually amazing with 7,000 points at average 131 frames per second on 1080p settings. It didn't get hotter than 68 degrees Celsius, running at 98% at all times with minimum of 123 frames and max of 136.